What's up, Josh Fierstein here. So I'm here to issue the $100,000 atheist challenge to anybody that could provide me proof or evidence that God does not exist. I think it's rather ridiculous that there's been people for a long time that have said that God does not exist, and yet they're unarmed because they have zero evidence and zero proof. How would that ever hold up in a court of law? You know, it's funny. I was talking to an atheist the other day, and he told me, he said, I don't believe that there's any such thing as absolute truth. I said, you really believe that? He said, absolutely. I said, therefore, you now have absolute truth. If you absolutely believe that there is no such thing as absolute truth, that's exactly what it is. You live in a dichotomy, a paradigm, a problem, and a paradox. You see, if we were to look at absolute truth, and we were to look at the totality of all knowledge, all scientific facts, everything, and we were to be able to draw a circle that would represent it, it would look something like this, broad and expansive and large. And yet it is that if you were to draw a circle of everything that you know, every experience, every scientific fact that you've ever learned, whether in school or study, would probably look something more like this. Now, don't you think it's ironic that there's people that have lived in this little circle their entire life that are trying to claim that there's no God that exists outside of their knowledge? Therefore, because they've never experienced him, he doesn't exist. Now, the problem with truth and absolute truth is I believe that this generation doesn't like that concept because it means that there's moral law. It means that now that there's something that they will one day have to answer to. In fact, if you were to ask an atheist, I don't think he would ever actually be able to condemn something like the Holocaust and the killing of millions and millions of innocent people. Why? Because he just believes that they're an accident. They're just merely some molecular structure, that they're just part of this scientific thing called evolution, survival of the fittest. Well, how then was Hitler just not the fittest? How could you ever condemn something like that? In fact, I would challenge you this. If you were to look around the world in any society, in almost any country, in any sets of laws, murder is something that is illegal. Why is it something that is illegal universally? Because man knows it's wrong to murder someone else. If we were just some biological concept as far as a human being and a man, how would we have that knowledge except that the Bible says that God writes those precepts upon our hearts? How is it that every society around the world would agree that murder is wrong? In fact, I guarantee that if there were no laws and no government, that you would feel wrong inside of you killing somebody. Why? Because God's written it on your heart. That is why Jesus is the absolute truth. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And I challenge you today to have an honest conversation with him. Maybe for a long time you've kind of put him out of your mind because to think that there might be a Jesus might mean that there's a heaven or there's a hell or that there might be some Bible or some law or some book or some set of rules that you might have to live up to. But I challenge you today, if your eternity depends on it, to look into it, to have an honest conversation with God and ask him genuinely in your heart that if he exists, that he would show himself to you, that he would allow you to feel him. I promise you this, within my little realm of experience, I have experienced that love, mercy, and grace, and I want you to as well. So God bless you. Please take a moment, help an atheist out by simply clicking share on the side or the bottom of this video. Maybe this little bit of truth would get to them. The last video, 65 million views. We had hundreds, if not thousands, of emails from atheists that converted. Why? Because they looked at common sense, at logic. So I challenge you right now, click share on the side or the bottom of this video. If you're not my friend already on Facebook, click my name at the top of the video, like and comment below. I love hearing from all of you. God bless. Have a very, very beautiful day.